Across sun-drenched coasts, wind-swept isles, and the ancient heartlands that cradle the blue heart of the world, the Mediterranean stands as more than a sea. It is a crossroads of human history, a living archive of empires and ideas. From Egypt's golden horizons to the columns of Greece, through Phoenician trade routes and Rome's sweeping might, the Mediterranean birthed civilizations whose echoes shape our modern world. Here, the earliest alphabets etched their form. Here, reason and myth intertwined in philosophies and sacred tales. Here, stone was coaxed into wonders that endure millennia. Among this tapestry of achievements, however, lingers a mystery that threads the region's mythology, folklore, and monumental architecture: the recurring legends of giants. These tales, scattered like shards of a forgotten epic, raise questions as profound as any posed by ancient philosophers. Who were these colossal beings? Are their stories the fanciful dreams of ancient storytellers, allegories for forces beyond understanding, or whispers of a lost chapter in humanity's own deep past? The legends beckon from every shore. In Rome's chronicles, the historian Diodorus Siculus, writing in the 1st century BCE, described a time before Vesuvius's fury, when giants roamed Campania's hills. Their bones, according to local lore, surfaced in the wake of each tremor or volcanic surge, prompting curious speculation and reverent fear. The Greek imagination, ever fertile, spun the dramatic gigantomachy, a cosmic conflict where gods warred with earthborn giants. The giants' defeat, often depicted on pottery and temple walls, symbolized not just divine order, but mankind's perpetual struggle against chaos and darkness. Homer's Odyssey entwined the fate of Odysseus with the Cyclopes, a formidable race of one-eyed giants who lived apart from humankind, their minds and hands bent to the raw labor of forging thunderbolts for Zeus. These tales cast giants as both adversary and artisan, threats to mortals, yet also the architects of landscapes and wonders far beyond mortal skill. Travel south of Sicily to Malta, and local folklore swells with stories of El Gantija, the place of giants. Here, Herculean stone temples soar above rolling fields, older even than the pyramids of Giza. Villagers swore these megaliths could have only been set into place by mighty beings. Their own ancestors, so the story goes, watched as giantesses carried boulders in their aprons, shaping the very bones of the island. These myths, scattered across time and place, might have remained fanciful footnotes, were it not for the stones themselves. Throughout the Mediterranean, ancient architecture stands in silent testament to forgotten skills. Chief among these marvels is Cyclopean masonry, walls of irregular mammoth stones, fit together without mortar so tightly that even a blade of grass finds no purchase in the seams. The Lion Gate of Mycenae, built over 3,000 years ago, guards its citadel with an air of unyielding grandeur. The same techniques, massive stones formed in deliberate jigsaw, repeat across Malta's Gantija temples and the hilltop fortresses of Sardinia. In Gantia, some stones tip the scales at over 50 tons, lifted and set in place before the rise of Egypt's first dynasties. Modern architects and archaeologists marvel, yet explanations falter. Even with advanced tools, moving and placing such colossi would challenge today's builders. No written records describe the means. Instead, local legend effortlessly fills the gap, crediting the very giants whose memory haunts the region's myths. Driven by this uncanny coincidence between legend and landscape, more questions surface. Some researchers note that the myth of red-haired giants appears not only along the Mediterranean, but far beyond. Native American tales recount mighty red-haired beings. Celtic bards sung of towering warriors with flame-colored hair. Ancient legends, like a persistent thread, connect these widely separated worlds, hinting either at a deeper common memory or the universally human inclination to dream of something larger. From here, theories slip from the plausible to the wondrous. Some posit that these myths conceal the distant memory of lost races, possessed of knowledge and power beyond our own. A few, looking skyward, suggest origins not of this earth, extraterrestrial visitors, mistaken for gods or giants, bestowing their wisdom through acts of impossible masonry. Among these voices, Professor Paul Michael's controversial ideas ring loudly. He contends that Malta's great temples predate even Sumer, possibly reaching back 10,000 years or more. Such antiquity challenges the boundaries of mainstream history, yet the astronomical alignments of Malta's Manajstra temple, where the sun at the equinoxes and solstices shines with mathematical precision, raise further questions. Were these builders truly ancient astronomers, or was their knowledge given from afar? Even more enigmatic are Malta's cart ruts, deep, parallel grooves etched into prehistoric limestone, snaking across fields, plunging over cliffs, and in places disappearing into the sea. Their purpose eludes certainty. Were they tracks for sledges or stone transports, worn by the passage of impossibly heavy carts? Did giants stride across the landscape using vehicles lost to time? Strangely similar ruts scar the landscapes of Sardinia, Sicily, and Tunisia, a network of mysteries that bind diverse islands and coasts, far beyond what local villages alone could achieve. On nearby Sardinia, yet another puzzle rises from the earth. The thousands of Nurek, stone towers and fortresses that dot the island's wild interior. Built with cyclopean blocks, these structures number over 7,000, some serving as tombs, grossly out of scale for average humans. Could the Stone Age inhabitants have been larger, or did they build for entities beyond themselves? To compound the enigma, the Monte Prama giants, statues carved nearly 8 feet tall, were unearthed nearby, their impassive faces watching over human generations like silent sentinels. Their features, some argue, blur the boundary between human and other. Some see alien robotic visages, others simply the stylized art of a lost civilization. The search for giants does not linger only among stones and songs. Across the globe, curious discoveries further tantalize the imagination. Enormous footprints impressed into ancient rock in South Africa, Sri Lanka, Spain, and even the wilds of the American Southwest. Measurements suggest that, if authentic, these impressions would belong to beings 7 to 10 meters tall, far beyond known human scale. In remote caves and burial mounds from Turkey to Romania and Ecuador, reports have emerged of elongated skulls, towering femurs, and massive jawbones, finds that, if verified and contextualized, might rewrite the boundaries of our species' story. Guarding the gates of orthodoxy are the institutions of modern scholarship. The Smithsonian Institution, a name synonymous with scientific stewardship, has not escaped controversy. Whispers persist that giant skeletons once housed in its vaults have vanished, destroyed to protect mainstream narratives. Though often dismissed as conspiracy, such claims reveal the tension between those eager to explore every anomaly and those wary of sensationalism, distorting the patient work of archaeology. Mainstream scholars maintain a firm rebuke. Peer-reviewed studies, they note, repeatedly show that found giant remains typically result from misidentification, mastodon bones, or rare cases of human gigantism, rather than evidence of a separate race. The limits of biology are unyielding. Beyond certain heights, the physics of bone and muscle simply fail. No preserved, verified skeleton matching the proportions of mythic giants has yet appeared in credible collections, and the fossil record, vast and meticulously catalogued, continues to yield only the bones of Homo sapiens and their true evolutionary kin. And yet, in the margins of this debate, the myths persist, a testament to something unyielding in the human psyche. Across cultures and continents, giants symbolize power unrestrained, the shadow of the past looming over the achievements of humankind. They serve, perhaps, not only as literal beings, but as metaphors, figures for the age when the world itself was bigger, when the unknown pressed in on every side and humanity seemed dwarfed by the forces that shaped both nature and history. In every legend of giants, there is a reflection of our own curiosity, our longing to explain the inexplicable, to embody the grandeur and terror of history itself. Some interpret these stories as coded memories, preserving knowledge lost in cataclysm or conquest. Perhaps instead, the giants were not physical beings, but hierarchical elites, rulers and priest-kings, giant in status, whose monuments and rituals shaped early societies. In this reading, megalithic architecture is the stone memory of vanished orders, their scale both literal and symbolic. Where orthodox scholarship sees only the march of civilization, farmers, warriors, scribes progressing over millennia, alternative thinkers glimpse forgotten epochs, cycles of rise and ruin. The Mediterranean, with its myriad cultures and layered ruins, is a fertile ground for this meeting of views. Here, the accepted narrative butts against alternative archaeology, each unwilling to yield the ground entirely. In the final analysis, the mystery remains unsolved. The stones speak, but in cryptic tongues. The myths endure, but without proof. Giants linger at the border between legend and history, their footprints fading with each generation, yet resurging wherever humanity seeks greatness just beyond its reach. Regardless of which side one favors, orthodox reality or mythic possibility, the search itself is instructive. It cautions against arrogance and dogma, recalling that every established truth was once an absurd speculation. The discipline of science at its best is a journey of questions, not a fortress of answers. Each chiseled block in a temple, every line of myth, every unexplained artifact invites another round of inquiry, a humility before the unknown that is in itself a legacy as precious as any ancient treasure. Whatever the final verdict on Mediterranean giants, biological beings or poetic memory, their stories call us to imagine. If one day proof should emerge, an unambiguous skeleton, an inscription yet undeciphered, then the narrative of human history may expand to include these shadowy titans. Until then, the giants belong to the world that shaped them, a place where myth and monument entwine, where questions are as enduring as the stones that point to the sky. So as we gaze across the Mediterranean's restless waters, we honor more than the ruins of mighty civilizations. We honor the wonder that inspired such tales, the creativity that shaped impossible stones, and the persistent sense that our story, like the best of myths, remains forever unfinished, written anew by each generation that seeks its origins among the footprints of giants.